When it comes to British cuisine, people often think monotonous, greasy, and fish and chips. But the severely underrated food of Great Britain is so much more than that. Nothing fills me with joy quicker than a plate of bangers and mash washed down by a pint of stout. Today, we will dispel the myth of Great Britain's food being anything like its weather, gray and bleak. In truth, it is packed full of flavors and comfort. In this episode, I will take you on a journey to explore British food and how it's represented right here in Hanoi. Having lived in Hertfordshire, England, I was constantly on a search of that familiar British taste that I once experienced. I'm visiting Gastro Pub, a restaurant in Hanoi with a British menu. So I can see that there are many typical British dishes on this menu, like bangers and mash, Scotch egg, fish and chips, and I just ordered a very English dish called bread and butter pudding. Pudding goes perfectly well with the vanilla ice cream next to it, and I love the fact that there are speckles of vanilla bean on top of it. And to top it all off, the sweetness is just right. I'm pleasantly surprised that there is such an authentic British dish right here in the middle of Hanoi, and I want to find out more about the person behind this dish. Nguyễn Quang Dũng is Gastro Pub's head chef and owner. Although he studied economics in the UK, his real passion lies in the culinary arts, particularly British cuisine. He self-taught basic cooking techniques and took classes on food science before opening a British restaurant in Hanoi to showcase his culinary talents and highlight some British cookery's best-kept secrets.
In our restaurant, we also take British food. We also look at British foods as a base for our cuisine. It's not about, it's not really traditional English food. We serve traditional English cuisine, but with a twist. Either we bring them to be modernized, or either we localized our dishes. It suits the Vietnamese palate, but also really interesting for any British to eat. Mincemeat, boiled egg, breadcrumbs. It's originated from London, actually. Oh. We call it something irrelevant, which is the Scotch egg.
Oh, Scotch egg. I love Scotch eggs, and I know it's so hard to make.
Oh, it's all about the hands, all about
the hands, right? It's always about the hands.
Handle the balls well, that's it.
Okay. A Scotch egg consists of a hard-boiled egg wrapped in sausage meat, coated in breadcrumbs, and baked or deep-fried. The earliest printed recipe appears in the 1809 edition of Mrs. Rundell's A New System of Domestic Cookery. Mrs. Rundell and later 19th century authors served them hot with gravy.
Many people thought that there's nothing in there. Sausage meat, egg, that's it. Well, you are correct. But we do food really simple. There is no English sausage in Vietnam that we can find. So we have to make our own sausages mix. So, but again, we use the Vietnamese technique in that. So normally you mince the meat. But in gastro, you hand chop all the meat, roll off any excess.
Then we mix the egg with flour and breadcrumbs.
One, be careful, hot oil. And then we make them into a nice little patty, and then you wrap them around the egg. So the flavor and everything is English, but the texture is absolutely Vietnamese. It's to die for.
In England, the Scotch eggs are either baked or deep-fried. Here, we deep-fry them.
So, Scotch egg. Okay.
Dũng decorates the Scotch egg with his homemade mushy peas. if you haven't tried this, you haven't lived. It's so fragrant with the thyme, and there's the caramelized onion, which adds this really subtle sweetness to it. There's a beautiful crust. And then, of course, how can we forget the perfect runny egg yolk?
When it comes to British food, how can we skip fish and chips?
In England, we eat fish and chips in fish and chip shop. Different fish and chip shop, they have different kinds of fish, they have different kinds of batter, different kinds of the sauce to go with your fish, different kinds of flavour. Fish and chips, it's not just about the fish and the chips, it's about culture, it's about the difference between region, it's about the whole vibe of the fish and chip shop that you cannot find it anywhere else in Britain, other than Britain.
But this isn't any ordinary portion of fish and chips at Zung's restaurant.
So fish and chip in gastro, we take the same philosophy of the food in England, which is taking the local ingredient and do minimal to them, cooking really simple. Because the potato in Hanoi is so much different from the potato in England, so we have to treat them differently to get the same correct results. If you are from the north, you would typically go for tartar sauce, mushibi, or even curry sauce, or gravy. So this is definitely a northern England dish.
Zung also introduced me to another dish that he claims to be a classic with a Vietnamese twist. Its ingredients are eggs, cream, sugar, milk, and tea. The name of the dish is green tea Cambridge cream, more commonly known as creme brulee. The twist? Here, Zung uses jasmine tea.
My mom, she loves jasmine tea. So just taking the inspiration from her, the jasmine flavour and the tea. The jasmine adds a really nice little floral notes to the cream, and the technique is exactly the same as in England, as you would bake the custard. So again, English cuisine, base, local ingredient, local taste, take them to another level. All right. So now we are going to bake this lovely custard in the oven, 180 degrees, for about an hour and a half. Okay, so here's one that I've already done. It's been baked, it's been chilled in the fridge for 5 hours.
The final touch to this dish is to use a blowtorch to burn the sugar on top to create a crunchy exterior.
It's just cook with love, you know, again, simple, not doing anything too complicated, you know, a lot of care, a lot of love, a lot of attention, and that's it.
Previously, we just saw some authentic common dishes in Great Britain. The Sofitel legend Metropole Hanoi has elevated these dishes to reach their clientele. Now we're going to meet Olivier, head chef of Le Beaulieu and the man behind their new British menu.
For 2 weeks, we run 5 English specialty, has bacon and pea soup, corned beef, a shortcake with strawberries. We just try to promote some special and traditional item, I would say. Not maybe to make something different, just to try something fine, can mix with the Vietnamese taste and the French taste for our customer around Le Beaulieu restaurant and our Western outlet. So for this recipe,
I picked chicken and leek pie on this menu because I was intrigued by how a 5-star restaurant could turn a common British dish into something that could be serviceable in a fine dining setting. Here, the traditional flavor profile was kept, but Chef Olivier employed his advanced cooking technique to elevate the presentation of the dish.
If you follow the traditional way, everything is chopped very thin and mixed all together. So this one, we're gonna make it a little bit more luxury, if I can say, and do it many different layers before to bake it. Exactly.
The pie then is covered by a layer of puff pastry, egg yolk for color, and cracked pepper.
So now we're gonna bake it between 16 to 20 minutes in one oven, 180 degrees.
While waiting for the pie to bake, my second choice on the menu is Eton Mess, a classic British dessert featuring fresh strawberries, strawberry coulis, meringue, and whipped cream. This dish is a testament to the hallmark of British cuisine, simple technique that pays homage to the quality of the ingredients.
So that's why we have only two colors, but as the name, Helton Mess, it doesn't look perfect, but it is what it is.
Messy, but in a very organized way. Oh, yay!
Yes, and here is the pie.
It smells wonderful.
This is a very traditional dish, so very old-fashioned style. So you're gonna have the softness and the creamy of the chicken cooked like a blanquette style with the roux. Then the leek is going to give a little bit of peps, and the carrot is going to give a little bit of freshness. And then to finish with the puff pastry on the top with the black pepper crust is gonna give a little bit of crunchy to the dish. In terms of consistency, the two dishes are quite similar.
Yeah, it's
because you have the crunch of the meringue, the freshness of the strawberry, and then the cream and the coulis make the creamy sauce.
Yes. So here we have two dishes that are served in different courses, but are in a way very similar. They're similar in the way they look, because they have different layers. They're similar in the texture. It's the combination of creaminess, butteriness, and then the crunchiness. I love them both. I can't decide which one I like more.
Afternoon tea was introduced in England by Anna, the 7th Duchess of Bedford, in 1840. The Duchess would become hungry around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. She asked for a tray of tea, bread and butter, and cake to be brought to her room during the late afternoon. This became a habit of hers, and she began inviting her friends to join her. Traditional afternoon tea consists of a selection of dainty sandwiches, scones served with clotted cream and jams, and bite-sized pastries.
Afternoon tea is not a meal. It's a revered tradition. Sometimes what you eat matters less than how you do it, where you do it, and with whom you do it. Here at the JW Marriott Hanoi, Chef Raphael really makes the food shine by putting a contemporary spin on the traditional British afternoon tea.
The idea of this afternoon tea was black and white.
You have the house smoked salmon sandwich. This squid ink brioche with the homemade smoked salmon and sour cream, so simple but very nice. We have the truffle and ham sandwich. So again, good quality ham, fresh truffle slice that we put on the sandwich. I'm not British, so I'm very French, so I always stick to what I know and what I like. So, for example, we had the financier, this cake there, which is a very nice and moist financier with cream and coconut. But then we also wanted to give like traditional flavor that people like, so we have the raisin scones, and then we have brownies, which is a bit more American, but also very nice. That was how we built the high tea, knowing that what our customers like and how we want it to be.
JW Marriott, Chef Raphael showcases an international spread of items from different parts of the world. We are going to bake something very easy, comforting, and American, brownies.
Oh, the smell is amazing.
Our customers here at the lounge, they are very international. Yeah. So we have Korean people, Japanese people, Vietnamese people, European people. So again, we wanted to give an international afternoon tea that everybody will enjoy. And then everybody can find basically their favorite in the set that we've prepared.
Afternoon tea is often served at 4 p.m. It's not just a British tradition anymore. It has spread throughout the world.
So what makes this afternoon tea set really delicious is because the items are made with premium ingredients. The sandwiches are made to order, so I can really taste the freshness of the bread. It's not stale, it's not dried out, and the nice smoky flavor of the in-house smoked salmon. What makes this place my favorite afternoon tea place in Hanoi is because Chef Raphael focuses on the quality of the food. He makes sure that everything tastes delicious rather than just mimicking an afternoon tea experience for the sake of it.
It has been a blast exploring what British food has to offer right here in Hanoi. From the humble dishes that anyone, regardless of background and ethnicity, would find comforting, to the beautifully elevated British flavors in 5-star settings, British food can please the most fastidious of diners. So next time anyone tells you that British food is bad, slap them with a steak and Guinness pie.